Hello, this is Mr. Bowen here with another mathematical video. Today we're going to be discussing constructing a triangle with a certain degree measurement between two side lengths of certain lengths. Alright, in this particular circumstance we're going to be constructing a triangle with a 65-degree angle between side lengths of 2 and 3. If possible. If not possible, we'll say it's impossible. Let's see what we have. Alright, here we have our protractor. What do we already know? Well, we already know how to construct an angle, all right? We know how to construct an angle with a degree measure of 65 degrees. How would we do that? Well, we can start by putting a point here and drawing a line. And then, lining this up, we can find 65 degrees, which is right here. It's between 60 and 70, 65 degrees, right there on our protractor. Okay, we'll put a little dot right here. And now we will connect this point to this point here. And voila, we have a degree measure here of 65 degrees. All right. Now, we've constructed this measure here. Oops. But we want to make a triangle with side lengths of 2 and 3. How would we go about doing that? Well, one thing to note is that even though on our protractor here, we put this point here, let's call this point P so we can refer to it as something. We put this point P here. Just because this is where the protractor told us to put this point doesn't mean that this is the only point on which this line falls that will make this a 65-degree arc. All right? That point could fall here. Or we could continue the line to infinity. All right? And no matter what, all points along this line are going to form this line such that this arc is 65 degrees. What does that mean? Well, that means that we can take this bottom line here and we can measure it out to be 2 inches long. All right, we'll put a point right there. And it also means that we can take this line here and we can measure it out to be 3 inches long, which ends up being here just short of that point P. Now what? Well, let's call this point here that's right before P, let's call that Q. Let's call this down here R. Let's connect together points Q and R. Now we have a triangle with a length here of 3, a length here of 2, and an angle measurement here of 65 degrees. All right, now we're going to construct a triangle with an angle of 140 degrees and side lengths of 3 and 6 if possible. All right, I encourage you to pause the video now, take a few moments, try to do this on your own. If not, we're going to continue. We're going to start by asking ourselves, how do we construct an angle of 140 degrees? Well, take out your protractor, mark your origin point, which we'll put right here. Let's start just making that point a little bigger, and we will call this point A. All right, I'm going to line up my protractor again. And with this being the point A, I'm going to extend this line out. And we are going to find where 140 degrees is on this protractor. Well, we start here with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. 140 degrees is right here. Let's call that point B. One thing to note, this protractor does measure in both directions. You could say this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. You could, in fact, call this your point here, point B. We'll do that after. We'll see what happens if we do that, okay? But for now, this is going to be point B. And we're going to connect points A and B together. We now have an arc here of 140 degrees. Next, we want to create a triangle such that AB, and we'll call this over here. And AC, well, AB could be 6, AC could be 3, or AC could be 6, and AB could be 3. It doesn't matter. Let's see what we can do. First, let's place this here. Well, this is already 3, conveniently. This is AC is already 3, so I'm going to leave that as is. AC is 3 inches. All right. Next, we want AB to be 6. So it just so happens that this protractor is 6 inches in length. So I'm going to lay this on this line, and I'm going to continue that line out all the way to here. All right, and that is 6 inches. Can we make a triangle? Well, certainly. All we have to do, actually, is connect together points. We'll call this B prime. Connect together points B prime and C. Now, that might be a little difficult because my protractor isn't that long, but let's see. If this was a little longer, it looks like I could make this work as such. Ah, that worked out. Good. And now we have a triangle with a measure here from A to B prime of 6 inches. Check. 3 inches here. Check. And a angle here between them of 140 degrees. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful and mathematical day. Go forth, make your own triangles, and be on the lookout for any that might be impossible. If you come across one that you think is impossible, let me know. If you don't think that it's possible to have something that's impossible, also let me know that and explain why. Have a great day, everyone.